We as the teacher are the inspiring role models for our children and may for a few offer the only unconditional warmth and respect they experience in their lives.
I came across this quote taken from Jenny Moseley whilst on my third year teaching practice. It really struck me as I'd never quite thought about having this effect on children as their teacher. It was this placement that really made me realise my core beliefs and values in determining the teacher and leader that I want to be. Choosing to be placed in a behaviour unit was a massive risk for me, as I'd never really experienced severe behavioural difficulties before. However, after spending 6 weeks in the unit, I felt I'd developed as a leader, a teacher, and an overall person, more than I ever could have in a mainstream classroom. I realised and developed an ethos for my leadership, an ethos of positivity, openness, and inclusivity, built on a foundation of mutual respect between myself and the children in my class.
During this video, I will delve further into how I see myself as a leader in the classroom, focusing on the theme of developing a positive classroom ethos. I will look at how I can develop myself, develop relationships, and develop each child as a whole to ensure a positive impact on pupil progression in terms of social skills and self-esteem.
For me, a massive part of leadership is about self-development. It's noticing the skills you have and learning new ones. In order to become an effective classroom leader, the first person I'll have to lead is myself. Every leader's different, but I believe becoming a classroom leader is about becoming more of myself, and in doing so, inspiring the children to become more of themselves. My understanding of leadership has developed dramatically throughout this module. What I once thought simply meant, what style will I teach in, has developed into a creation of my own vision for myself and my pupils. Leadership to me is about creating this vision and having the ability to communicate it in a way that attracts my pupils to want to follow me in achieving that vision.
So in order to inspire the children in my class to want to follow that vision, positive relationships need to be built with each child. Hook and Vass describe the term leadership as simply a term which we use to describe the influential relationships that you have with others.
These relationships are built when individuals feel valued and respected. I believe in order to build positive relationships, I must first look at myself. Robert Burns describes how teachers with low self-esteem find it very difficult to raise the self-esteem of their pupils. It's therefore vital, if I want to do the best for the children in my class, that I find ways of becoming more positive, energetic, and consistent in myself. In order to keep good self-esteem, I feel it's extremely important to organise time efficiently, making sure I keep time for myself too. Because I feel once you've taken the time to work on your own journey of personal and professional development, only then are you able to create a positive ethos in your classroom.
In order to establish a positive ethos where every person in my classroom is valued, I must think beyond just the children in my class. Dominic Wise states, the ability to work with your peers is just as important as relating to all children in your class. Here he suggests a need to make an effort to communicate positively with all people. Therefore, as the leader of my classroom, I would make sure to involve teaching assistants in things like planning, asking and drawing upon any ideas that they may put forward in order to make sure they feel valued as an integral part of my classroom system. This positive communication would not only be kept to my classroom, but carried out across the school with all other children and colleagues. I feel it is also key to value parents. I would encourage this through an open door policy, talking to them regularly, making sure to report good aspects and behaviours of their children. As Moseley explains, if parents trust you to notice the good in their children, then they're more likely to trust you when you need to focus on anything that's not so good. In order to promote this goodwill and cooperation, I aim to involve them as much as possible in keeping them informed of the systems used within my class, and of any changes. I also believe appealing to parents for ideas, knowledge and expertise to enhance their self-esteem and make them more open to any suggestions that I might put forward to do with their children.
This valuing of individuals must of course be carried through to each individual child within my class. Just being listened to helps every child feel unique and worthwhile. I feel it's so important, therefore, to reassure children that they can, if they really need to, become the legitimate focus of my attention through various listening systems that I can set up for them. I think often teachers can look so busy that children are put off trying to speak to us, and I know personally this was the case for me in school sometimes.
The frustration or even isolation can later drive them to demand that much needed attention by antisocial means. As Sue Roffey explains, negative attention is better than none. This was certainly the case I saw for many children at the behaviour unit, and I believe with listening systems in place, this could prevent such antisocial behaviours. Such listening systems I'd like to use include thought books, where a child can write down anything that they'd like me to respond to. I'd then respond with either a written reply or, if necessary, a private chat with the child. This is something I tried during my last placement, and the children truly valued their books. They weren't just for problems or queries, but also for recording happy events. I believe this will have a positive impact in making children's interests, opinions, and questions valued and respected. In keeping with this notion, I would also set up some sort of talk time system for children, using perhaps a speech bubble where children can request talk time with me by placing a peg of their name on it onto the speech bubble. I feel these listening systems are so important in letting children know you value them individually. However, I also feel it is just as important for children to learn to value each other. Now, I personally am a big advocate for circle time, as I've seen its many benefits firsthand, mainly using the behaviour unit. It provides an ideal group listening system for enhancing children's self-esteem, promoting moral values, building a sense of team, and developing social skills. The national curriculum states that every state-funded school must offer a curriculum which promotes the spiritual, moral, cultural, mental, and physical development of pupils, preparing them for the opportunities, responsibilities, and experiences of later life. Circle time can offer this. It gives children a practical opportunity to discuss concerns, consider and debate moral values, practice positive behaviours, and work out solutions. All things I believe are vital in developing not only a positive and open classroom, but also developing each child as a whole.
As a leader, I feel it's essential to establish high expectations agreed by everyone that will inform and develop the culture and ethos of the classroom. Circle time provides an ideal forum for this. These expectations would cover positive behaviours to be encouraged, as well as negative behaviours to be discouraged. Constant encouragement, praise, and positive reinforcement would be given by myself as a leader to adhere to these expectations, but I also feel it is important for children to enter a culture of peer praise.
Florence McCarthy discovers the importance of peer praise in that children should not always have to look to adults to receive positive feedback. In this sense, I would create systems such as nomination boards, where children are encouraged to nominate someone for a positive quality or achievement. This can be made focused by using starters such as someone who's always hardworking. This way I can devise categories to cover all the positive qualities of every child in my class, building up self-esteem. In the same sense, every week, children could be given a sticker, whereby they choose to stick this on any work they feel proud of, and given an opportunity to present it in circle time. As a leader, I feel these strategies will make an impact in children learning to value their own opinions about themselves as much as they value others. It gives them the opportunity to evaluate and comment on their own performance, ensuring they progress to become more reflective learners. So let me bring you back to the quote that began this entire thought process. It is my vision and my aim as the leader of my class to inspire children to be more than they think they can be. I recognise I face a massive challenge of time and energy to keep up with these systems, but I just feel they're absolutely vital in keeping with my vision as a classroom leader.
Through these strategies I've discussed, I believe I will establish and preserve an ethos of openness, positivity, and inclusivity in an environment where every person values themselves and each other. In valuing the importance of circle times and scaffolding these appropriately, children will progress in developing communication and social skills, as well as developing as a whole, spiritually, morally, and emotionally. These skills are then transferable across all subjects, as well as preparing children for experiences in later life. With a positive learning environment established, only then will we be able to get the best out of our children. Not just academically, but as a whole person. And only then will we become the inspiring role model for every individual in our class.